welcome back. I've got a question for you today. Have you ever wondered what to work on in class? Have you ever found the whole thing just that little bit overwhelming? So I thought I'd share with you my 4Ps for progress. Okay. My name's Claire. I'm a ballet teacher. I was a professional dancer for 20 years and I've now been teaching ballet for 10 years. And I want to share with you what I've learned along the way. So today we're going to do the 4Ps for progress, and that's the thing with ballet. It's not one of those things that you learn and you go, wow, I've progressed massively in a week. Yeah, I used to teach scuba diving for a while, and the scale of progress was from 0 to hero in 5 days. You learn, go from complete beginner to scuba diver in 5 days, which is a massive learning curve. And okay, maybe when you first start ballet, it is quite a quick learning curve. You do pick things up very quickly and every week's a learning week. However, once you get to a certain stage, it can start to plateau, and that's when things can get a bit disappointing. You can start to feel, I'm working so hard, but I don't actually see myself progressing. So the best way to work with this is to just literally aim to be a little bit better every day. It's called the compound effect. It's like interest. If you increase your interest by 1% every day and put that interest back into your bank account, you'll end up quite wealthy. Same with progression. If you improve by a tiny bit every single class, that progress will have a massive impact on your overall progression. And then 6 months' time, you'll look back and you'll think, oh my gosh, I actually have made progress. So my 4Ps for progress. So we're going to start with the important bit. It's about performance. Yeah. Dancing is an art. It's not a sport. Yes, it is very athletic. You do have to be athletic, but it's an art form. And certainly as ballet dancers, we're trying to make it look easy all the time, which I've said this before, but it's a bit of a detriment because then people think, oh my gosh, that ballet is so easy. So yeah, and it's not. Everything down from about there down is working really, really hard. And from there up, it's going, yeah, this is really easy. I'm finding this total, yeah, walk in the park, when it's not. So that's a little bit of our performance. But on a serious note, as George Balanchine said, dance is the music made visible. We are the visual representation of the music. So it's really important that we actually dance with the music. So musicality is paramount. Sometimes, especially ballet, it can be very easy to kind of think, oh, well, I want to just stretch my leg a little bit longer, and you kind of like blur the music. Yes, we can use rubato to make our jumps appear bigger, but you really, really, really got to be with the music all the time. Obviously in adagio movements, you never actually stop. You go faster, then you slow down, then you go faster, then you slow down. You have dynamics, but then you slow down. So you do go a little bit through the music, but you do stay in time with the music. And especially on more sharp movements like tondus, for example, or little jumps, you've got to be absolutely on the beats. That's so important, because otherwise to me, it disrespects the music. Yeah. And at the end of the day, that's what dance is. It's a physical performance in response to music that we're hearing. Or it could be poetry, it could be the rhythm of a poem or something else, but generally it is a rhythmical movement. So for our posture, we've got to think of the music, the expression. What is the music telling you? Is it an angry song? Is it a happy song? Is it exciting? Yeah, loads of different moods within every single piece of music. It's not just happy or sad. And that needs to come through both in the kind of movement you're making, but also your expression on your face. You do need to use your face, because generally when we're dancing, we're telling a story. So you need to be telling that story with your face, because you're going to react. We're acting at the end of the day. We're playing those characters within, if you're doing a ballet, you're playing a character within a story. You also need your eyes out to the audience. I generally tell people to look towards the dress circle. It is also good if you are actually on stage and you've got a high, like the gods, it is good to take in the gods as well at some points, but you can't do the whole performance up there, because then everyone else will just see your chin. But if you perform to the front row, your eye line's going to be down, you're going to be looking here, and you're not going to go beyond that. So I basically play to the back of that dress circle so that everyone in between is getting my eye line as well. Okay, which is generally kind of correlates to the horizon, which is quite natural for us as mammals. It's quite natural for us to focus on the horizon. So that's quite an easy one to do. But sometimes people concentrate, and in their concentrating status, they look down. I think that's partly to shut off distractions so that you can focus. But unfortunately, as dancers, we can't afford to do that because we're telling a story. So we need to have our eyes out to the audience because they are the windows of the soul. They're going to help that expression come across to the audience. To help us with our performance, that's the first P. It's the second P, and that's our posture. If we're curved down and eye line down and shoulders rounded, we're going to look less expansive. So we need to keep that posture. We need to think of that lengthening of the spine so that we really show that beautiful posture that you need, certainly as a ballet dancer. Sometimes with street, you obviously need to relax into it a little bit more, commercial as well. Jazz varies depending on what style of jazz you're doing in that particular number, but you need to be very aware and be able to use your posture when you need it. But certainly in ballet, we almost always are using that elongated spine, open shoulders, very tall and sort of lengthened and straight, and holding the core. The posture will also help you with your placement. This is kind of the foundation for everything. And it's kind of the hips where I start. Yeah, for me, if the hips are placed correctly, you're sorted. That's like a cradle, it's holding you, it's like your foundation. Imagine you've got a basket, your hips are the basket, and that's holding your whole body and giving you that like really strong platform on which you can move and dance. It also includes weight placement. You want to have your weight evenly placed between both your legs. And I've talked about this before as well, but it needs to be evenly placed around your foot. Yeah, imagine that's my foot. You've got your heel, the knuckle under your big toe, the ball of your foot, and your little toe there. And you need to have it evenly placed between the 3 points. Yeah, if your weight's nice and evenly placed on your feet, you're not sat back on your heels. And again, it makes it so much easier to turn out and perform all the other movements. It helps your line, it helps everything. If your hips are neutral and you're placed correctly. With your hips, naturally, when we stand up, our hips tend to fall a little bit forwards, tipped slightly forwards. We get a bit of an arch in our back, which is our natural shock absorber, a bit of an S-bend in our spine. Now, what we need to do as dancers, we need to think, I don't like to say up at the front, down at the back, because that can make people tuck under, which is equally incorrect. However, think of gently pulling in that lower belly back towards your spine. It can help to imagine your belly button pulling in towards your lower spine, and think of your tailbone lengthening down towards the floor as opposed to sticking out towards the wall behind you. So if you think of that, that helps you get those hips in a neutral position, which enables to use your piriformis and your adductors to rotate your legs and turn your legs out from the hip sockets. It also gives you freedom of movement sideways because of that turnout, and that also helps you lift your leg to the front and the side even more. The one time you will tilt your hips is when you're lifting your leg to the back, not when it's just stretched out dégagé on the floor, but when it's actually lifted at the back beyond sort of 45 degrees. You will need to then tip those hips slightly forward and your whole body will slightly move forward. So there'll be a slight tip. You obviously don't want to lean forward, but they will. But then you've got to remember, as soon as you bring your leg down, you have to come back to that vertical position. And that's real foundations that will help you keep everything super strong. It'll help your jumps go straight up and down. If you're slightly tipped forwards as you do your pliés, yeah, that's going to translate into your jumps, and you're going to find your jumps, you're going to be kind of doing that with your jumps, which makes them so much harder. You'll be like, whew, hard work. Whereas if you're going straight up and down, it's much, much easier just using your strength in your legs to push you straight up and down again. There's no wavering about. You want to be really aerodynamic. And our last one. So these aren't exhaustive. It's not the whole caboodle. There's so much to ballet, but these are 4 things that you can think of in your next class that give you a fairly rounded thing. Maybe think of them for the next couple of weeks, and that will give you a fairly rounded selection of points to work on with your technique. The last one is precision, and you kind of want to have precision in all your work. Be like Goldilocks. Yeah, you don't want it too far one way or too far the other. You've got to find that happy medium that's right in the middle. It's with the same with arm placement, hand placements, everything, eye line. If You go, you can be told, oh no, lift your chin a bit. You lift your chin, and then it's, oh no, too much. So you go back down again. It's about finding that absolute happy medium. And then what I do is I'll close my eyes and I'll see what that feels like. So then your body remembers that position. That's a really helpful one for me, because at the end of the day, you're not going to have a mirror on stage or in an exam, or if somebody's watching you dance. Generally, you don't want to be looking in the mirror to check everything. You want to be looking out to the audience. So and you want your eye line to follow the eye line it's meant to be following, not kind of looking at the eye line and going, ooh, what am I doing in the mirror? Yeah, so you don't want to be sort of looking out of the corner of your eye to see what your line's doing to reinforce the position you're making. You want to be able to feel that position in your body. So being really precise in your work, and really, as I say, being like Goldilocks, making sure that you find that absolute balance, of the absolute perfection with your hips not tucked under, not tipped forwards. Yeah, the precision of your eye line, the precision of the music. Yeah, so kind of use that precision through everything. So those are 4 little tips from me today. So we have performance, we have posture, we have placement and precision. Okie dokie. Hope you're well. If you enjoyed those tips, please comment below. Let me know how you're getting on. Do ask any questions if you're thinking, nah, it doesn't work for me. What can I do to rectify that? I'm happy to help. If you want to dance with me, check out bridgeballet.co.uk. Or if you want to dance with me anytime, night or day, you might be in Australia, you might be in Canada, check out bridgeballet.club, and you can try a class and do a class anytime, night or day. Do subscribe, do share with your friends. See you later. Bye-bye.